let's go over the markets for the 25th of May, 2023. We have not a lot going on in the market. I think both the bulls and the bears continue to kind of get frustrated across the board. So it will be interesting to go into the overall indices, but the scans and algorithms I use over at Trade Ideas actually are picking up some really interesting things. So link for Trade Ideas in the description below or in my bio. And then also, if you want to have this emailed to you along with a screenshot for all these charts and a little bit of a paragraph about what I think of the market every single day, you can sign up for that email list below as well. All right, without further ado, let's get into it, starting here with Bitcoin. So talked about how I added it to my short a little bit here yesterday as things kind of broke down. Initially short from this area right here, sold off a little bit more and then bounced back up. But really nothing happened day to day. You can see a 0.55% change in that right there. So nothing really super interesting, nothing really to freak out about. Going to be very frustrated if you're someone who's really piling into these things. That's why I'm kind of averaging in slowly into this short. And again, the 200-day moving average would be a place that I would look for this to go. From the traditional currency space, cable is, or British pound, is actually breaking down now. This could be completing this kind of rounded top look right here. So we have a little bit of a rounded top. We have a breakdown on that. Be interesting to see if we get to the 200-day moving average, or this is the anchored VWAP from these 2022 lows right here if we get down to that. Now into the equity markets. So quickly, just looking at the SPY, inside a range, and then a doji, right? So you can see we have the doji today, and we are inside this range here, which, you know, is just kind of the high and low. This is the breakout high and then the low from that breakout. So we're in the middle of that range, which is in the middle of this kind of broader range. And then we have a doji today, and it's 3 minutes to the close, so we're closing right at the middle of the day. So again, these are the times where it's really important as a trader to pick your shots, trade small, take your profits, move on. If you're kind of death by 1,000 cuts, just cutting yourself over and over and over again, you're going to have a bit of a rough time. But again, pick your shots. I think there are plenty of trades to be made out there. And nothing really of interesting over in the space. You can see this list I have just sorts all the ETFs I watch by position and 5-day range. Again, link in the description below if you're interested in this product, just Trade Ideas. You can see XLU at the bottom, but really not doing too much there. Down a little bit more, testing these lows. And then SMH, of course, at the highest. That's with the NVIDIA earnings today. Makes perfect sense. Really nothing to comment on with the NVIDIA earnings. It's up a lot. It might be up a little bit too much. But again, I don't really believe in overbought, oversold. So it's just not something that I'll buy at this level. And I certainly wouldn't short it at this level. So okay, so into the actual watch list, the things that I'm watching going into tomorrow that I have up on my screen. I run a little race against this, which is a cool way to just constantly be shown what's going on with this particular watch list, which is the one that I kind of look and manage, and it's where most of my trades come from. A lot of these we've seen before, but I'll go through them and I'll point out anything new. HELE, again, the post-earnings gap, right? This is one of my favorite plays. Is I want to see some sort of big move or shakeup or something that occurred because of earnings or because of some sort of an announcement. So some sort of change in fundamentals, got everyone super excited, and then some sort of consolidation. That's what we're seeing here. So looking for a close over $100 a share. Maybe that gets that 28% short float. A little bit nervous. We have Car Gurus. So what I'm watching on Car Gurus here is a pullback to this anchored VWAP from before the earnings. And you'll see a couple of these setups. It's a scan that we have in partners with Brian Shannon that's looking for pullbacks to these anchored VWAPs from large gaps. And I'm personally really liking it, where we pull back to this area right here, the anchored VWAP from this gap, basically just showing the average market participant before this major news event, puts us kind of right here. And 3 days in a row, we hit it and then we bounce, and then we gapped below it, and then we rallied up to meet it, and then we sold off below it and we bounced. So could be some accumulation going on here by some sort of power that be someone big enough to move the market. Same kind of move here in Take Two, TTWO. you can see 3 days in a row, again, sells off, hits that level, bounces. This one just tagged it a bit, bounced. This one sold off and bounced. So I'm looking for this one here above this area, this kind of 137.50 or so. See if we get a push up, and then, if we can get through and to this area right there, then I think that's kind of interesting. And then Shake Shack, we have the exact same setup, so I won't waste your time going through it again. But again, just hit twice yesterday and today here, bouncing off. So, again, I mark an intraday high if you zoom into the chart, or just kind of an area high and say, okay, if it can get close through there, that's where I'm interested. And then Shake Shack's interesting too, because it may have this big kind of rounded bottom type pattern on the chart. 7% short float on that, so nothing crazy, but nothing too bad either. Lifetime Fitness, we just have a prior resistance area that it broke through, and that's so far acting as support, so I like the look of that. I'm just looking for this one to rally back up. Wingstop 200 level seems massive for this, right? So it was resistance right here, gap through it on earnings, and then 1, 2, 3 times acting as support on 200. So if it can get over this area, that's super interesting for me. Toro, this one's not on the list anymore. I don't know why this one wasn't put in. TAL, we have kind of a declining wedge here. Again, this is the chart that looks the best to me of the Chinese play. So if China starts moving, I usually like to have kind of one of those on watch. BMEA, also just a break of this area right here. Now we're coming back to test it. If we move lower, I'll remove it from the list, but looking for a bounce here as well. So I'm actually going to quickly just go through and make sure I went through all the charts. Yeah, VVVV, I actually missed. I knew there was one. Or sorry, Triple V. So this was actually the Trade Ideas Trade of the Week here. I don't know if it triggered or not, but it may have technically triggered up there. I'm not really too sure. But the idea here is pretty simple, in which again, the same as the Shake Shack, same as Take-Two Interactive. You have a big earnings move. You don't just want to chase that earnings move. Comes back down. If you find some evidence of support, which may be happening around $38 a share, you know you have a level to lean off of, and then you're able to do a pretty good risk reward. So just making sure I've gone through all these, which I think I have. Yep. So that is it for today. Thank you all for coming. Again, going to try to do these every day, try to make them relatively quick. Link is in the description below or in my bio to sign up if you're interested in just getting these delivered, again, directly to your inbox. That'll be fantastic. Again, all of the charts with it, all that kind of fun stuff. And you can check out more of this content at statsedgetrading.com.